Hello all, hope you all are doing good. In today's class, we are going to learn one more important topic under database management system, which is known as stored procedures. And also we are going to learn the different types of procedures. The formal definition of the procedure is given over here, which is created in order to perform one or more DML operations on the database. In simple words, the working model of the stored procedure is very much similar to the working of the functions. So why the functions are used? It is mainly used to reuse the code again and again. So similarly, there are certain set of queries or the group of SQL statements which can be saved and that can be used multiple times. So for that, we will be moving with the concept of stored procedures. And here it is going to accept some input in the form of parameters and does some task. So sometimes it may or may not return a value. That depends upon the parameter that we pass to the procedure. Now we are going to see the syntax of the stored procedures. So this is how we are going to create the stored procedure using the create command. So create procedure, procedure name. You need to define the procedure name here. Without passing the parameters, you can even call the procedure. So there are different ways in calling the procedures. Let us see. Here we have different types of procedures. Procedure with no parameters, procedure with in parameter, procedure with out parameters. Let us understand in more detail with the execution of all these three MySQL. Let us move on to the execution now. So as just now I have created my database, so which means that there are no tables inside the database. So in order to create a table using the procedure, firstly we need to make use of the delimiter. So as discussed in the previous session, delimiter is generally used when there are multiple statements are to be executed. So here I'm using delimiter with 2 forward slashes. Now I'm going to create a procedure using the create command. Create procedure, procedure name, create table user. In the name of the procedure, you can give any procedure name. So create table if not exists. Let the table name be users, right? As we have already seen that there are no tables. So you need to specify if the table is not there in the given database. You need to specify this if not exists. Let the column names be user ID, which is an integer type of data, and I want this values to be incremented automatically. So for that, I'm using auto increment, and also I'm going to specify that this is a primary key, comma, along with user ID. I want some other attributes to be added into my table. So I'm going to write down first name, which is varchar, and let the size be some 255, comma, last name, which is also a varchar, and let it be 55, and the city, which is also the type as varchar, and I'm going to give some size for it. Close it, end with a semicolon, click on enter button. So here, as we have given 2 forward slashes after defining this delimiter, so when this particular statements are going to end is only when again you are making use of 2 forward slashes. Now I wanted to insert some tuples into the table. Insert into table name. I'm going to provide some column names over here. So first underscore name, comma, last underscore name, comma, city. And now I'm going to give some values under it. Now I'm going to display the table using the select star from users is our table name. Here, as I have started writing entire code using begin, I'm going to end using end. And I'm going to close it by using 2 forward slashes. Now, when you click on enter button, it says query OK, which means the procedure is created. What is the procedure name we have given? Create table user is our procedure name. Now, when I call this particular procedure name, it has to display the number of tuples that which we have inserted into the users table. So let's call the procedure, call create table users. This particular statement is executed. Now you can see that the table is displayed with the two records. The table is created. We have inserted two records and also we have displayed the two records by calling the procedure. So this is how you can call a procedure without passing any parameters. Now I am making use of in parameter. By passing in parameter, how you are able to make use of the procedure. So for example, as we have two number of records present in the users table, I just wanted to find the count of the record based upon some condition. Let's work with it. Now you can see that we are using in as a parameter here, and this is what, this is the variable name and this is the data type. Whenever a procedure is called, then the value is to be passed. That value is collected in this particular variable, right? So for that, we are using in as a keyword. Begin. What I have done here, I wanted to know the count of the users whose last name, if there are number of users matching that particular condition, then that record is retrieved as our output. Now I'm going to call this particular procedure. So using call procedure name, select by last name. As discussed, as you are using in, you need to pass as a parameter. You're passing last name as a parameter. So for example, I'm going to pass Kumar as a parameter here. So as it is a string, you need to include in a double quotes or single quotes. It's up to you. Okay. Now, when this is called, you can find that there is only one tuple that is present with the last name Kumar. So that is being displayed as our output. So this is how we are going to make use of in as a parameter in our procedure. Now let us work with the out parameter. I'm using out as another parameter and it is going to count the number of tuples that matches with the given condition. So for that, I'm using some other variable name with count underscore L, and as count is what, it is an integer type, I'm just giving int as its type. Close this. I'm going to begin with the using of begin statement, and then I'm going to write down a query inside it. Select count star into count from users where last name is equal to L underscore name. Right. It says query OK, which means the procedure called count by last name is already created. Call the count by last name procedure using call. As there is an in parameter, you need to pass the value. The value is what? You're passing the value as a last name. So let the last name, which I have already inserted, is the Raj, comma. Now, I want this to be accessed from outside the procedure. So I'm making use of @ here. You can give any session name. So here I'm writing down count last name. You can give any name. Close it, end with semicolon. Click on enter button. Use 2 forward slashes. It says query OK. Okay, which means now you are able to retrieve the record, like how many number of customers or the users are present from the user table matching with the last name. That is matching with this Raj. For that, I'm going to write down this particular statement, that is select @ the name which you have given over here, that is count last name. You can find how many number of records with the last name Raj is present from the users table. You can find that there is only one person, so thereby the count is retrieved as 1. This is how you are going to work with in and out parameters in the stored procedure. Hope you have understood today's lecture. Meet you in the other session. Thank you.